Okay,
So
respectfully, Your Honor, I would
pass,
like to
pass
say
the,
I will not
pass the
wait.
matter. No, no more. Pass the matter. Rejoin the
I just want to
breakout.
make sure that I'm
No,
not.
no, no more. Pass the matter.
Guess who's back in court? Destiney Graves. Last time she gave us the world's most annoying spelling lesson, and now she's back, still spelling her name like it's breaking news and still spewing the same nonsense. She was supposed to go to trial tomorrow, the same day she's ironically getting housing. But that all changes here. Her lawyer swears she's not a sovereign citizen, and then Destiney immediately proves otherwise. I'm appearing specially. I've been misidentified. There's a corporate fiction. Same old script stuck on repeat. This time, though, the judge has had enough. He shuts down the prosecutor's attempt to dismiss, saying everyone else has to take deals and get licenses. She doesn't get a free pass just for wearing people out. Watch him struggle in this hearing with her nonsense and how to move forward with these people. So instead of walking away, she's coming back in October. And something tells me she won't be dropping the Sovereign Citizen Act anytime soon, because she seems completely attached to this delusional view.
Whenever your client is ready, Mr. Baldwin.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You heard me about the license though, correct?
Yes.
It's set for a jury trial, is that tomorrow?
Yes, Your Honor, the prosecutor has stipulated to dismiss all cases. So the dismissal for the driver's license would have to be for best interest of justice.
Well, I know some, I don't
Make
know
that
if it's
clear.
the best interest, I don't know if it's the best interest of justice. I don't know if that's the case.
Okay.
No,
What about prosecutorial discretion?
no, it's not about that. It's not about that. What it's really about is this essentially what I consider sovereign citizen stuff. You know, everybody else is taking deals for the same instance, and these sovereign citizens come in here and with no basis in the court's eyes, and they get to go off scot-free.
So
I
had a lengthy discussion with my client about that, and I was not able to, and I made effort to pull up some points, some authorities that I could bring to bear with respect to the issue of jurisdiction, and it just was not cognizable to me. After having,
you're meaning on the court not having
I think, but after having discussion with the prosecutor about it, well, she was under an impression that the court had to prove jurisdiction, and I just indicated that the court, it was not necessary for the court to prove anything, but the court would at its discretion accept what it felt had been proven. And the most relevant thing I think with respect to that is that my client has previously had a Michigan driver's
Judge, we didn't go back on the record.
I'm sorry to know that that's.
No, we're just talking off the record. We're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm glad to have this discussion off the record too, Judge. So, I really don't have a argument as to jurisdiction. I don't think my client was very helpful with respect to that, and she needs to have a revisit to that type of material.
I don't know
because it's quite clear to me that there is
any of the other ones any good, because they're open on, and I'm just gonna start treating those cases a little bit differently now.
I understand completely your frustration.
There's got to be some fairness in it, and I don't see any fairness in that.
Well, we all need to be accountable for our behaviors. Ms. Graves, are you there? Can we get started?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
This is the city of Detroit versus Destiney Graves. Case number is SP 1069059, counts 1 and counts 2. SP 172-47881, SP 172-4805, counts 1, 2, and 3. SP 172-48361, appearance for the record, please.
Good morning, Harry Bachman, P55052 on behalf of the defendant. Would you, ma'am, state your name for the record?
Yes, my name is Destiney Raven Graves. That's capital D, lowercase ESTINEY dash capital R, lowercase AIVYN, colon, capital G, lowercase RAVES.
Judge, this is matter set for final pretrial. We have this for a jury trial tomorrow. Having discussed this with the prosecutor, is the agreement of the parties that the instant cases would be dismissed. Now, my client has valid registration and insurance, Your Honor, so we would ask that those matters be dismissed for compliance. The remaining issues, as the court note, is that the defendant does not have a valid driver's license, and I would ask the court to dismiss that case on the basis of prosecutorial discretion. The defendant understands that would be all of these dismissals today are based on technicalities and are without prejudice, and therefore it is the discretion of the prosecutor whether or not they wish to recharge these counts at any time in the future.
And it's the court's discretion on whether the court wants to accept that as a that offer that the prosecutor has extended. And as I was talking off the record, the court doesn't see really any fairness in these sovereign citizens being able to come in and proclaim that. With the court has seen no basis for it at all whatsoever. The rest of the individuals are required to either get a valid driver's license, and the court extends those offers or accepts those offers when individuals come and rectify the situation after the fact, which the court doesn't have to do, but does that routinely when people go and drive and get a valid license. So I'm not going to accept the plea of the city attorney at city attorney's office in the because essentially, I don't know, because they don't want to fight the matter or something. It's going to have to go because I don't think it's fair to the rest of the citizens that come in here, and if they don't have a valid license or can't get a valid license, to resolve their matter with some sort of deal, but have Ms. Graves and the rest of the sovereign citizen nation come in here and they get their cases dismissed just because I don't know the reason in particular, but what I would surmise is that they just don't want to deal with it. So I'm not going to accept all. We can
Understood, Your Honor. May I make a clarification that actually the defendant made to me with respect to the sovereign citizen aspect of this argument? My understanding is that this is not that this individual is arguing that. Well, why don't you give some clarification, Ms. Graves, to the arguments you're making that this court doesn't have jurisdiction or has to prove jurisdiction, that jurisdiction is not present because you're present in the jurisdiction. Can you tell us why you're not subject to the laws of the city of Detroit when you are a driver in the city of Detroit?
First of all, I thank you for this opportunity to speak. Your Honor, I am here appearing specially, not generally, and I am raising my abatement on Ms. Namer. And that I'm raising my abatement on Ms. Namer, and that's it. I'm raising my abatement on Ms. Namer.
I don't even understand what that means.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
I don't even understand what you just said or the meaning of what you just said.
I'm raising my abatement on the grounds of misnomer because I've been misidentified in this case, and I'm just pointing out the defect in the case. And I'm aware that misnomer is a very fatal mistake in a case. So I just wanted to point that out in my case.
Is that misnomer? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
All right, so so obviously, what Ms. Graves, what I understand Ms. Graves is trying to say is that they pulled over the wrong person. It wasn't her that was actually driving. If she's saying that I guess that's what she's indicating. I don't know. Maybe you can
No,
clarify that.
Your Honor, respectfully, no, that's not what I'm implying at all. I don't deny that I was not there in the interaction on, that day with the police officer. I'm not denying that at all. I was there and I am present now here as well. What I am saying is that there has been a misidentification between me and another party. I've been misidentified as a corporate fiction rather than a natural person.
All right.
Which
So that's
is
the same sovereign citizen stuff, just doesn't, that's the same sovereign citizens argument in the court's eyes. So I don't, that whole, I'm not a person, I'm a corporation, and I get to be able to travel freely upon this road and without impediment. Listen, this is the state of Michigan, the city of Detroit. The Constitution and the amendments to the Constitution give the state the authority to force individuals on the road to keep for the safety, health, and welfare of its citizens, to have a minimum requirement for them to be able to drive what they and try for the safety of the individuals on this road. So the fact that you feel, or I'm assuming that you feel that you don't have to have this because you're this special entity or whatever claims that you're making, the court does not recognize those claims. Therefore, the court is not going to accept the fact that the prosecuting attorney, or the city attorney in this case, does not want to go forward with it because they don't pretty much, I guess they don't want to take the time. I'm going to force this case to go either to trial, or I'm going to force this case to go to a plea. You have your absolute right to a trial. You have a jury trial set for tomorrow. What we'll do before the end of the court today, we'll have a sidebar with the city attorney, or you can speak with the city attorney, Mr. Baughman, and you can go over that and you can relay the court's apprehension to take this deal to the city attorney and see when they want to move forward. Okay, and you can set, we'll get that, we'll at least get that opportunity to set a new date. But that stuff that Ms. Graves is speaking on, however you want to be, however you want to be addressed, Ms. Graves, the court has quite frankly is getting pretty tired of. All right.
Respectfully, Your Honor, I would like to request evidence that the court does have jurisdiction over my living person and not my
That's not
corporate.
the court. That's not the way the system operates, ma'am. You need to read the Michigan court rules and educate yourself better. I don't know who's been teaching you this stuff, but quite frankly, the court does not have to give you any jurisdiction. And you challenge jurisdiction. The court says you were pulled over in the city of Detroit. You indicated that you were at the scene. The officer gave you a ticket. That is notice for you to come to court. You set a court date, and therefore you're here now. So other than jurisdiction being that you weren't in the city of Detroit when this offense occurred or these allegations occurred, then the court will hear an argument about that. But as far as anything else other than that, whatever you're speaking on, the court is not going to even entertain that. All right.
Respectfully, Your Honor, my
We
presence
understand, Your Honor.
alone does not equal
All right,
established
I told you I'm
jurisdiction.
not entertaining that stuff. I let you make your record. You've made it many times and you have, there's a record down here. So either go back in the breakout room and wait on Mr. Baughman to figure out what this trial date is gonna be. I'm gonna let you be heard and you can put that to a jury of your peers, all right? And the jury of your peers accept your argument about you not having to have a driver's license and the court not having jurisdiction, then that won't even go to a jury. But if the court will accept your argument about whatever your position is, ma'am, and they find you not guilty, then that'll be the case. But other than that, we're not gonna keep going back and forth with this, all right?
Okay, respectfully, Your Honor, I would like to say I will not
Pass the
wait.
matter. No, no more. Pass the matter. Rejoin the
I just want to
breakout.
make sure that I'm not.
No more. Pass the matter. Rejoin the
Judge, may I
breakout.
place the
and
defendant
go
in
to your
breakout room
attorney.
5?
All right, let's go back on the record with Ms. Graves. Mr. Baughman, what does your client want to do?
So Judge, this matter is set today for final pretrial. I do respect and honor the court's decision with respect to our motion for with regard to jurisdiction. And we do have an intention to proceed with the finding of fact as scheduled. My client wishes for her own personal reasons to ask the court to consider adjourning tomorrow's bench trial, at least for a later time. She has an appointment. My understanding, it is directly related to her ongoing issue with securing a place to live. And she's been offered some assistance, but that at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, she's expected in a meeting to help her find housing. She's asking for the briefest of adjournments if this court would consider even a later time for us to convene for trial. That would be manageable for us. I'm prepared for trial, prepared to move forward. I don't know, Your Honor, that you required that the complaining witnesses appear for today's final pretrial. But as a matter of policy, I would ask that you would consider a motion to dismiss for a lack of those complaining witnesses to appear at this final pretrial as we are on the eve of a jury trial tomorrow.
Ms. Horn?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. One thing I did want to clarify to the court is that I was not dismissing based on her arguments. I was moving to dismiss for valid documents, Your Honor. And in lieu of the resources that it will take to go to jury trial, that was a bigger consideration. However, the people are ready to proceed. I did offer until Mr. Baughman advised that she was struggling with housing, which I think makes her an excellent candidate considering she has a child for possibly street court. So I'm open to whatever's in the interest of justice, Your Honor.
Yeah,
May I
well,
make a record?
I understand that you were dismissing for documents but the issue was not having the valid driver's license. That's where the issue comes up. Go ahead, Mr. Baughman.
So I spoke at length with my client yesterday about, or day before yesterday, about street court and street justice and about how that would comport to some of her needs. She is currently in a shelter. She has a young son, I think he's 2, and she's also has some needs with respect to employment and quite possibly healthcare that could be in prospectively would be met if she would participate in our street justice program. I did mistakenly tell her that it might be a year commitment. I want to make sure that I correct that because Ms. Horn says this is a 90-day turnaround, that the cases and the instant cases would eventually be dismissed once we get Ms. Graves the help that she needs with respect to what we've placed on the record, as well as with respect to getting her driver's license back on track. Then she would be in compliance, Your Honor. I don't know why she doesn't want to accept that.
But I'm thinking that this one, first of all, I would love to see Ms. Graves be able to get in the street court program, or, and I hate to have her out there with no housing and a small child, but I would think that the street court program, there would be at some point some admission to responsibility. And that is the real issue with Miss Graves, you know, is not one to take responsibility and articulating time and time again. Every time I've seen her, she's articulated the same argument, which a court describes as a sovereign citizen argument. I know Ms. Graves doesn't term it as that, but it gives all the everything she's saying is the same thing that the sovereign citizens coming forward to the court. So I don't know if I can always get Mr. Patel in here, and I will do that if that's necessary. I have no issue with that, but I think moving forward, I think that is going to have to be, you know, she's going to have to change her position or something. I don't know how it seems like she's pretty stuck on that position that she has. So that's one issue. The other issue is that there is brought up to the court about the issue of the complaining witness not being here. It is my policy that on the date of trial, on the date of the final pretrial, all of the individuals are supposed to appear. That goes to Madam Prosecutor Horn's argument of the necessary cost as it relates to bringing a jury in. And to avert that cost, we want to make sure that everything is ready to go. Auguste was not here today. I don't have it written on the file that that's the action that I was taking, but that's not my normal course of action. He's usually here on, and he usually appears. So he's probably on all the cases.
So you
except for
just need to find out tomorrow.
misdemeanor cases. Miss Wright, particularly Wright, is not here. So yeah, I didn't mark that on the file. It's just gonna either go. What time will you be at the dealing with the housing issue? What time will you be done with that, do you think, Ms. Graves?
I'm not sure, but here's my case manager. She knows more.
Right.
Could you place your name on the record and who you are?
My name is Kim Carter. I'm her case manager here at the Fox shelter. She's in a homeless shelter. We have her housing scheduled tomorrow between, I believe it's between 8 and I want to say 10, but it may not end till like 11 or 11:30. It's for her to secure permanent housing to leave and able to leave the shelter.
All right, and good morning to you, ma'am. And what are the chances? Oh, here's Lewandowski here now. What are the chances that is that what you called him in, Ms. Horn?
I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you.
Yes, Your Honor, I did call him in. I was not aware that he was supposed to be here, especially this cold case is first impression to me. But I did want him to be here to hear and see what we're going to decide or what Your Honor is going to do today.
Okay, all right. And Madam Case Manager, is this a hearing that this Graves can is likely to be granted some permanent housing tomorrow?
Yes, so she'll be able to secure a voucher so that we can move her from the shelter into permanent housing.
Exactly. Okay, great. That's good news. So from what my understanding, Mr. Baughman, Mr. Patel is not necessary because that process is going through by the good people over there at the shelter. So that's, congratulations on that. I'm glad to hear that. So we'll talk about moving this matter. We'll cancel the jury trial tomorrow.
Your Honor, forgive me for interrupting. Would you consider giving me some more time to work with my client? I'd like to see her get a valid driver's license. She is not suspended out of Detroit to somewhere else. I think I can help her identify that. And I think we can bring her back with a valid driver's license. That should please us all, most especially the defendant and the city of Detroit.
Well, I'd absolutely like that. I would like, thank you, Madam Counselor over at the shelter.
You're welcome.
I would like that. I would like that as well. But as I just say, from everything I've heard from Ms. Graves, that's not her intention. It doesn't seem as though it's her intentions. Are you willing to do the necessary steps to get a valid driver's license now?
Of course, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. What we'll do is I'm gonna reset this matter for a pretrial date on October the 13th. Congratulations, Ms. Graves, on the housing. And
Thank you, Your Honor. Do you mind telling me what day that is? If
That's a
possible?
Monday.
the 13th
Monday,
is
okay.
a Monday. October the 13th is a Monday.
Okay.
All right, so at 8:30, Mr. Baughman, I appreciate you working with Ms. Graves. I'm glad that you seem to have gotten her attention, and I hope things work out. Thank God you got, you're gonna get that voucher, ma'am, and you're gonna get yourself situated on housing. And thank you, Mr. Baughman, for coming in and the advocacy that you've done. I don't know where you get the arguments that you're making, ma'am, but in the court's eyes, they have no basis in fact or law. All right, so I don't know how you can take that for what you want. You're your own individual, and you can make your own decisions. But that stuff, I'm changing my way I move forward with the sovereign citizens. I don't think it's fair that everyone else either has to bring a valid driver's license in, or they have to take some sort of punishment or plea because they don't want to operate, and sovereign citizens just get to. And I know, Ms. Horn, that's nothing to your, but it's just been cases that the city just has dismissed the cases a few times in the past because they just don't feel with the cost, but it's just not going to happen here. All right.
And thank you, Your Honor. I was unaware of her sovereign argument altogether until we'd already discussed the resolution. So, but thank you for saying that, Your Honor.
Absolutely.